3. Good monkey. Are they? Are they really?
Okay.
So Shadow has got his coveted hat back. He's now technically more competent than Raven because she has something else to do.
Okay. I don't know if that's really all that. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I hope Ravens well.
Take the awards you can get or whatever.
Sure. Well, I mean, I could just make my own. I mean, Christ, I hand out a dozen at the end of every year. I could just start throwing
They
myself.
don't count. They're not real.
Hey, you know what? Some people.
The technically more competent than Raven award is real. It's right here.
No. There have been some people who've appreciated the video we do every year. This year will be our sixth one. Can you believe that shit? I think it's six.
I'm very upset. I wanted to show Raven the new book I got.
Which was?
I'm not going to show it to you. It's right here. It's right here. It's this book right here.
But we can't see the title.
Yeah. That's the point. This is the thing you do when you're reviewing books on YouTube or TikTok. You show because it makes people watch the video because they can't see the title from the.
Well, hold on just a second. Then let me. I'll do one better because this greatly affects you, me, Tanner, Raven potentially. Hold on, let me get it.
And trust me, it's not as good as this book right here.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Grammaticus, I reached out to him because he was showing this Cull magazine that I just got in the mail, like probably the same time he did. I just haven't gotten around to reading it, but I got issue 2.
Ooh.
And he was very, very thrilled. And these aren't even, I thought they were Marvel comics, but they're not.
No.
Which is interesting. Well, and he's actually waiting to hear my review on them. And if all goes well and we don't scare him off, we're going to invite him to.
I scare people off.
Well, we all do. I mean, different ways. I'm not going to. But I also got. Go ahead.
Go. No, go.
I also. Hey, what's up?
Hunger.
Long time no see. I also got this. I've been wanting this since I was such a little kid. Oh my god. And I finally got it. The guy, said it was near mint. It's not, but I'm not going to bitch for like $7. I mean, when I was a kid, this was like a $50 comic book. So maybe not quite 50, but 25, 30, which was a lot of money for a kid. But this is not,
especially back in 1632.
Yeah, hundreds of years before it was even written. But it's also another.
I was about to say some
Marvel Comics, Marvel Preview, more black and white art, which I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews about because the little discussion I got into with Dolly Pop and all of her fanboys just dumping on me.
I don't even know who Dolly Pop is. Don't care. None of those are as cool as this book. First, I want to go through the construction look. It's got one of those ribbons.
Hey, that automatically puts it up into a whole new category.
Nice thick paper. The cover has a sponge material inside of it, right?
Oh, like the Time Life westerns.
I have no idea, but it's like there's a sponge between the cover paper or cloth and the book board. So it's got a nice absorption, and the paper quality is beautiful. It's all semi-gloss and matte texture. It's a very gorgeously constructed book. It's almost square. It's rectangle, but it's very chonky, very well made. Here's the spine. If you can read the name.
You can't. It's too tiny for me.
Okay, it's one mix, 100 cakes. It tells you how to make 100 cakes in this book. It's a book
Oh,
about
cake.
cake.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. I got to break out that bacon Bible. It's been sitting in
yeah,
a hiding
yeah,
place since
yes. But
November.
sadly, I don't think there is a baking cake in here.
I bet you
So
there's one in the bacon Bible.
probably. So we can make this 150 now. Because at least half of these could do with bacon. So
As a matter of fact, I remember Walmart a couple years back had a bacon cookie, like a package, like Betty Crocker, cookie mix, whatever. There was a bacon cookie, and for some reason, I did not grab every one off the shelf. I don't know what I was
you are
thinking, but
you sir are no longer male.
no, I think I was in a hurry or something.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
didn't even grab one. Um,
right.
but I thought Raven would get a kick out of this, but she's not here, so we get to do this segment twice now.
Okay. Hey, Hungar, why don't you jump in and say hi for a minute?
Yeah, I say that every time he comes by, and he never does, so I gave up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start making cake. Making cake every day. Might have to go to
Nice.
the might have to go to the store later. And
What? And leave your house?
yeah, I know it's breaking the rules or something, but I've done it just the other day.
I know.
But yeah, I know. I had to take a demerit point for going outside. Wasn't fun.
That's all right.
Do
We'll
not
get
know
through
what
this
they're
one time.
for, but yeah. So basically, you just follow this recipe 100 times.
Each time adding something different
Yeah, there's like
until your cake recipe has like 112 ingredients.
well, I'm assuming the thing you add each one, you don't add to all of them after that.
Oh no, that would be that's the
Where's the fun in that?
you get to eat them. I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, like the recipe is like, except for certain recipes, substitute this with that in the main recipe. So basically, it's one mix that's like
what's up, nerdy?
5 mixes or something like that. Uh, Nerdy.
That reminds
Uh,
me. I have no idea what we're doing for dinner tonight. I'll figure it out. So what I was saying
well,
earlier is, uh,
if you have any, well, let me go over. If you have any oil slash butter slash grease, uh, that's for your pan. 1 1/3 cup all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons corn syrup or whatever, unswallowed water, 1 tablespoon baking powder. Oh, super fine sugar. Yeah,
is that
help if
you or
I.
me cooking?
That's me. It's the garbage truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could go through the ingredients later. I was just going to tell you how to make a cake.
So I was getting a lot of flack from some of Dolly's fans because I was,
I have no idea who this fucking person is.
she was. We did a show together, a couple with Max Liao, really heavy set girl. She's really bubbly. I think she was going out with Aaron the Pedantic for a while. Um,
I have no idea who that is either.
okay, well,
I've heard that name though.
she was doing, she made a really humorous and gross video on AI slop, and I'm like, hey, spouting all the virtues of AI art and the benefits, and she's just hardlined. I don't care how good it is; it's AI, so I hate it. And I'm like, well, good luck ever making a book and being able to afford quality art, unless you're independently wealthy, and even then, do you really want to give the lion's share of the profit to an artist, or do you want to pocket that yourself? And a bunch of
Yeah.
were piling on me, calling me a horrible game designer, blah blah blah, not knowing who the fuck I am, of
Yes,
course.
Dolly Pop nerd.
Yeah, Dolly Pop. And
Oh,
she and I are still friends. It's different opinions. We can be adults about it, but
yeah.
they don't get it because they're just fanboys. Who if you are putting together a book, I don't care what kind of book it is, and you think unless you're doing the art yourself, you're going to be able to get away with you know affordable art. It's not possible unless you take stock art from public domain. You use AI.
Uh,
You've
you
got
can
your
do it,
brother,
but
sister, cousin doing it for free or yourself. You're going to pay a crap ton of money for good quality art. And I'm a big fan of good quality art. My shelves are full of quality art, but I have not seen quality art from our community, our hobby, in a good long time. Um, that wasn't either woke as hell, uh,
well, you can say fuck, man.
shoddy.
Fuckity fuck, 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 fuck. Say fuck right now.
Fuck you.
No, not fuck me, just fuck general.
I'm trying to be better.
Not on this show. There are rules here. We call Shadow gay, and we swear.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Anyways,
Yeah, he admitted to it. He said he was gay.
no, I was committed to the rules part, you schmuck. Uh, Shadow is not gay. Just
Lying, lying. Doth
uh,
protest too much.
no, just the right amount. Otherwise, it sound like a pussy. Um, anyways,
Oh, bro,
it's just it's just
Lord.
it's not feasible for the average, guy without the talent to draw, paint, or digitally make pictures. And I keep, the video's like 2 weeks old almost now, and I'm still getting comments, giving me a hard time about it. And I think it's kind of funny because I bumped into my friend Bobby Encinas. He's like the original motocross guy. He happens to live right where I do, and he and I also share a common past of doing motocross when nobody had a name for it at the exact same location where I used to live as a kid. There was this place called the Drop Off, and it was basically just a hole in the ground, and we would ride our bikes until we hit air and then bounce our way down and hopefully not die. And he's like the original guy, but he works at the Walmart where I go occasionally. Bumped into him again this weekend, and he invited me and the boy to go to this motocross event because we love riding in the dirt. And we ended up talking about AI art, and he has no skin in the game, doesn't care. He's a more of a sports guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I totally agree. Having salient points that I hadn't brought up about why it's already too late. AI is already, what we call AI, anyways, is
Yeah.
already entrenched. It's only a matter of time before the homeless aren't going to be, a majority of them aren't going to be vets. They're going to be artists. Where
Well,
I
most of
will
them
not
don't.
shed a single Indian tear for their dumbasses for not learning to code, take an order, or keep their mouth fucking shut.
Like that's the thing is that technically the AI is hitting the coding community harder.
I know, I know, but I'm
uh,
okay with that too. I mean, even though my son calls it the devil, and I see his point from a religious standpoint, it's like, what are we supposed to
uh,
do? Is he going to get off his ass and stop drawing for himself, start drawing for our projects? Not anytime soon.
yeah,
So what am I supposed to do? Just
and the AI is still a better drawer.
than him? Well, he's got his own style. So there's that.
Exactly. And like the best thing, like you use it like the art and stuff, but from the aspect of like if we ever get back to writing, Shadow, um,
Working
the
on it.
as the aspect is not like okay having it take over creating the work. Yeah, okay, maybe you're like, I have an idea for a line and it's kind of clunky, and I feed it to it, and they're like, give me like better syntax or something. Syntax is the structure of words. Um, if you're not aware out there, syntax is a very fun word. You should memorize it and internalize its essence. That's how you end up like developing a sense of love for the language is knowing the word syntax. It's like a magic spell.
It even sounds like one.
Yes. Syntax! Woo!
Or evil magic if you
Delivered by Count Chocula.
syntax. Excuse me. Syntax the verbose.
He's what if Sesame Street brought you a role playing game?
Right. Like I'm going to use AI to create an RPG, or play one, completely derived from that. I suppose I might play one. It might be fun, but I mean, how many times have we literally been playing against the computer anyways in a video game? But when it comes to writing or writing a game, you know,
Well,
doing
like
things you
it's
mentioned might be a helpful tool, but the computer would never come up with the idea.
yeah, well, it can't do anything independently on its own to begin with. You have to ask it a question, and the formation of the question is the initiating um, thought, right? It's the spark of life in the moment. Now,
Exactly.
it can prompt other inspired questions after that, but you're the one that has to say yes, no, or maybe.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, there's that.
And
But
even
but
even
like
for, go ahead.
even once you get past the syntax, for like small things like word choices or whatever, it's really good at like feeding it stuff you've worked on, because if you lose track of something you can always go, hey, what was this thing I did with this character before, because you keep giving it that stuff, and it will just like, instead of you having to reread everything, what you should do regularly when writing,
Mhm.
uh, pull that information out and put it right there in front of you right away, and then you can like, hey, what would happen if I did this or that. You could like multiple choice things if you're sitting there stuck,
Mhm.
and then still like asking questions breeds ideas faster than sitting there looking at paint dry on an already dried wall of paint.
Right, like I was explaining
uh,
to Bobby, how fast it works.
yeah,
When you go and put something in your search bar, and you blink, and it's giving you pages and pages and pages of everything similar to that, all the way down to things that are not even close at the far
yeah,
end of the pages. It's searched the internet and collated and grabbed all of that and prioritized it in most viewed or most relevant from top to bottom in the blink of
yeah.
an eye. We
Well,
can't do that,
yeah.
as a human. You can't go into a library and go through everything and find all of the relevant information and pull it and stack
And it's gone through and cut out all the unnecessary advertisements and like the things that are deliberately there to distract you,
it.
because and that was the thing with what's called SEO, right, which is search engine optimization, and AI is quickly replacing that. So instead of like someone inserting random keywords to draw your attention away from whatever you're looking at to whatever they want you to see, you're now actually seeing things based on its intended purpose.
Um,
Yeah.
Nerdy, you're 75% correct on that statement. There's the fourth camp, and made up of the people who don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's most people. Most people are people that jump on a bandwagon and have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. But like the the point I was going to get is like the search engine optimization, because AI is quickly taking that over. Um, AI, large language models, because it's not actual intelligence. It's algorithmic matching. It's match game wrote
It's
super
an advanced.
complex.
It's the most advanced search engine we have.
Yeah, yeah,
Extra bells and whistles.
yeah. It's Clippy. You saw it growing up. You remember Clippy? You know Clippy, right?
Yeah, the
From,
paperclip.
yeah. Not the one from the erotica novel I showed you a couple months back.
Right.
But technically that one, because it was the same artwork. I'm surprised that hasn't gotten taken down, but
Yeah,
still.
like the thing you made up on the airships. That was a
Yeah.
fucking amazingly well done.
Yeah. I said specifically look at AD&D 1E. I said yes, I will stick to the information from AD&D 1E, and then it went through, and I asked it, "Is this only information from AD&D 1E?" And I said yes. I double check, and it was all the stuff for. And I
Yeah,
think I could have thrown more bells and whistles into that if I wanted to, but
sure,
I'm not worried
sure.
about it.
But I mean, when it
Uh,
can do things like that, you know, yes, there's going to be a whole lot of downsides and side effects and things we may not be able to predict just yet that are bad. But that comes with any new invention, any new technology, etc.
it
But
came with the fire,
yeah,
the wheel,
yeah.
the
But
manufactured
the
structure.
benefits for those ambitious enough and wise enough to take advantage of them, you know, they're going to make people's lives better. You know, and they were whining about on Dolly Pop's site, you know, how AI is supposed to give us all more time to be more artistic. I don't want that. I don't want to live in a society of nothing but fucking artists.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's
They're utopia.
yeah. Well, it's not just that. It's like artists doesn't necessarily mean painters or whatever. It's a metaphorical statement, but it means you're supposed to not have to worry about the drudgery work. Um, and yeah, we've been fed that for the last ever, because
Yes.
why wouldn't you plan on getting rid of the hard stuff to do in life so you can have more time to do the things you enjoy, like
Sure.
painting or poetry or writing or mountain climbing, for fuck's sakes. Uh, those are all like, mountain climbing is an art of climbing a mountain. Uh, hey, George,
What's
you
up?
guys all know where the link is. Like, hop in here and join the conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
I watch his stuff from time to time, but you know, he still seems like kind of a
who? Asmongold?
yeah, someone I probably wouldn't hang out with. I might, but
Uh,
yeah,
he
just
seems like a douchey individual.
not so
Uh,
much that. Just you know, still
he,
young and inexperienced in the way things really work.
I think he's as old as I am. Um, he's got a lot of like the I only take my ideas in the basket form. Like there is this standard thing where most people, when they believe something, they believe all the associated things with that without examination.
Okay.
So I don't like lefties. Some lefties aren't cool with Palestinians being genocided, so I don't like Palestinians.
Yeah, I tend to take
You
everybody
see
on.
the association,
Yeah,
you see the faulty association there, right? And like that's one that I don't like lefties, but I also don't like Palestinians being genocided, because I examine those things on their own merits and not because I dislike this other person.
yeah. Like I
Uh,
said, I hang out with a lot of different people, you know, and some people I know damn well do not agree with the way I think and feel, and I don't want to be surrounded by nothing but people who think and feel exactly like I do, that would be incredibly boring. We'd have nothing to talk about, or only the same thing to talk about. As for AI creating us a Star Trek society, um,
Uh,
I don't know that I want that. Um, one, I'll never see it. Two, if I
well,
did see it, it'd be
yeah.
like, I'm not into polyester, guys. Just saying. Uh,
You see, you're well. I know you're doing it facetiously, but
yes, the whole uh,
the whole post necessity of labor isn't the AI doing that; it's the replicator.
yeah,
Um,
and the replicator would be created through AI figuring out how to get us to that point. That's
yeah,
cool, but at the
and
same time,
AI
uh,
has already invented new materials.
mhm,
Uh, if I'm to believe the demonstration demonstrated by one of the companies, they brought their machine out on stage and they gave it a bunch of material, raw resources, and say, "Come up with something that doesn't already exist," and it did it live on stage, according to the exhibit. Uh,
that's cool.
how faithfully that can
Was
be
it toxic
believed.
and deadly or just benign?
Well, they put it in a container, like they had the hermetically sealed container for that very reason. Like, of course, we're not taking it out because we don't know how it interacts with people yet. But uh, it says it's new. It's checked everything, combined it, and it seems to be stable so far. So,
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that post scarcity society either. I think
well,
scarcity is kind of a good thing. It's a driving force. If
yes,
we
it
get to a
is.
certain point, where there's absolutely no need for any out of the box thinking, you get Logan's Run, and I don't want to live there
it
either.
it it can be right. Like even in Star Trek, it wasn't a post scarcity society. It was a just we are so close to being post scarcity. It might as well be. There is a feral historian video. We talked about this before, where he goes through the economy in Star Trek and how it works and how like most people call it communism when it's not.
No,
Well,
it's worse.
but, well, Star Trek before Destiny or whatever. Um,
But I see. I kind of, having grown up around a lot of crime and bad guys and things like that, I see a need for that. I see a need for bullies and bad guys. You have to have adversity
yes.
to become better.
Well,
Without it, you become
there's
stagnant.
always going to be some asshole who would rather take your lollipop instead of
Yeah,
walking
like
over
the
to the
guy George's
box.
talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry
Uh,
to hear that, but that should be part of every immigration policy whatsoever. Leaving your shit at the door and wiping your feet before you come in. I don't care who you are, where you're going, etc. If you're going to become part of a new place, don't try to change that place. Otherwise, why go? You know what I mean? Unless
yeah.
you're actively trying to
But
conquer a new place, in which case
um,
you get
yeah,
found out
but
conquering a new place.
he's not being kicked out for that. He's being kicked out for being against Israel genociding all of its neighbors and vocal about it. Now, if he was being kicked out for wanting to change the society, but he isn't.
You're right. Well, if you get caught trying to change the society, you should just be,
Yeah, he's being kicked out for using his First Amendment right to talk about stuff.
oh, I thought
Yeah,
he was talking about something else.
Hassan Parker, a
Like,
piker. Yeah, that's Chen Uyghur's cousin.
I've heard of him, but I don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a far lefty weirdo, but like nobody had a problem with him until the most recent thing, and that's a thing. If you pay attention with all these deportations that Trump is doing, they're being backhandedly used to cover going after like X-ray examiners and things like that. People who have like talked out against the war in the Middle East. There, the war.
Yeah. Fuck that place.
Yeah. Well,
I, I have no stake, no skin in the game. You
but you
know,
do, because your entire nation is based around doing exactly what one side wants. Like you bend all your
no,
laws and your
you're right.
economy and
People like me have no effect on that. The people in DC,
yes, but then you
it's
say that
different.
I don't give a fuck about it. Well, like that's kind of allowing that to happen,
Well,
right?
there's nothing I could do about it, even if I cared.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can say I'm fucking sick and tired of our country instead of
we've
saying
been
I can.
saying that for my entire life.
I've never heard
People
you
like
say it.
people like me, but it doesn't matter. The system is too corrupted at the top for anybody. Even a large group of people still cannot root out that corruption yet.
Yeah.
Not without building some things out of wood and getting some rope and things like that, and everybody else,
Some jumbo stewed tomato cans of cyanide tablets.
whatever. You just there's just no way to. Uh,
Well,
to
you know what I'm
and as
talking
soon as
about.
you
It came in
do,
cans this big, like
and
the
as soon
jumbo.
as you do start to make any sort of progress, the corrupt system will stamp you down individually to where it doesn't matter how many of you there are. They will just take out key linchpins in the ensemble there, and
Yeah,
everybody else will buckle and cower and retreat to the rocks they crawled out from under, and the status quo will remain where it is. It's going to take something incredibly drastic and ugly for that to stop, and I wouldn't even know where to begin.
yeah.
I'd
Well,
probably join in if I got asked, but I'd have to check
you
for
you
glowies amongst the
well,
populace.
that's the first thing. Like the fact that they make you think about glowies, and then they deliberately insert the definition of the person who would not be a glowy as the glowy. That being a Fed for those of you out there. Um, the suspicion of Fed does most of the Fed's work without actually needing one.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
the first thing you do is you pick yourself up a copy of the Turner Diaries and make sure you're not the guy who's just like, I'm in it for economic reasons, because, he was not an idiot. And don't be the guy standing by the tent with the shotgun. Those are the two people you don't want
Yeah,
to
I
be.
love that movie. I got to get Jackie to watch that movie before I croak.
Yeah.
It's on my
Falling
must
Down
do.
was like
Yes,
one of those. I love that movie. It was on the short rotation when I was a 6-year-old.
that's hardcore, dude.
You
That's
know
hard.
what I mean by the short rotation. It's like the movies I'd always pick off the shelf and watch on the weekend. It would be The
Yep, yep, yep.
Burbs, Falling Down.
Yeah.
uh,
What'd you think of Fight Club?
Fight Club's a good film. I have never owned. Yeah, I've never owned a copy of it though. We didn't
I
own
really
one
want
for a while.
Jackie to see it, but there's some stuff in it that I know he will not.
Pick up the book.
Uh,
Pick up the
maybe I'll
book
do
and just
that.
give it to him for Christmas.
But there's so many really fun elements to that movie. Um,
It's not as good as where did I put my book? Where did I put the
you've got the book handy.
no, it's never going to be as good as this book, which
Oh,
we are officially endorsing this book.
okay.
So what you got to do is you got to find a copy of this and a copy of Fight Club and put them on top of each other and wrap them in paper. So it's not obvious that it's a book when he opens it.
What the hell was her name? Who's
And say he's allowed to read one chapter every time he makes a cake for you.
who is the actress who's in Fight Club? Because there's only one actress in it. God, her
Oh,
name is.
the Jewish chick.
Is she Jewish?
Yeah. Uh, she was like married to that weird
Yeah,
couple
you know
or
what?
whatever.
Yes, George, but it would be full of people I can't stand.
Uh,
Norton, yeah, he was great in it too.
Norton.
Of course, and the other guy, can't think. Brad Pitt. Yeah,
Brad Pitt.
he was actually phenomenal in that. But I think if I ever met him, I
Fight
probably
Club.
would punch him. Uh, wasn't her name Marla though?
Yeah, yeah. The character's name is Marla.
Because
Uh,
that's where I got the name for Marla in our game. Even though they don't look anything alike. Helen Bonham Carter. Thank you.
yes,
Yes,
Helen
I'm
Bonham Carter. I just got to it, and there are more than there's more than one woman in the movie. She's just like the only one that has the
dude. I'd
speaking
still
line.
smash. I don't care.
Well,
I always had a
40 years ago or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Or
She would give me the
30.
time of day. But I really liked her also in one of the Merlin movies. Can't find the link. It's in the Reckless Rants Discord, buddy.
He might not be in the because I cleaned out a
Meatloaf
bunch of
is the
people.
other woman.
Yeah,
Hey, don't be talking smack on Meatloaf.
yeah.
That was a fucking
We don't talk smack on Meatloaf around here,
that guy
man.
was just amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I will send it to you directly, nerdy, in a moment.
Anybody who's that big and can still hook up with Carlo DeVito, dude, that's demigod status right there.
Uh,
Just say it.
is Nerdy Ogre listed as Nerdy Ogre on Discord?
I'm pretty certain he is.
I have all here. I'm sure I'm friends with the guy. Ah, yes, he is. The picture is different.
He's been on the show before, so
Yeah, but I cleaned out people that weren't
participating.
coming on a lot to make room for other people who wanted to come on because that room can only have 10 people in it. Um, and sorry, bro, but you're one of the people who was expendable. But I just sent you the link directly. It's just I was skimming through the list of all my friends, and he changed his picture. So some comic book thing now. Looked kind of cool. Maybe like a Colossus or something. Da, 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 da. But
Oh, excuse me, guys. I took my vitamin today. What the fuck?
yes, Meatloaf. Uh, yeah, I liked Bob. But the thing you gotta like there are a couple of essays on YouTube about this, but the thing you gotta realize is that we're we're in we're in Norton's head, and I think the character that Pitt's character is the actual name of the character, but all of those people are in his head, all of them. That scene where he beats himself up. That's
Yeah.
every fight scene. Every fight scene in that movie is that scene.
I suppose.
No, like even if you go watch the movie, it's there. Like when he's at the restaurant or
Or,
the hotel bar, and he sees the people in the kitchen, right? Uh, he walks past the bar and all the chairs are up on the table and the counter. And there's no one there, and he looks in, sees everybody beaten up, and he looks back, and all the chairs are down, and there's a bartender, and the stools are down, and all that. In like the span of him doing this, because it's in his head.
yeah,
Marla is in his head.
that's
Uh, Pitt is in his head. Bob is in his head. All of it is a fucking delusion. But it's so classic, cleverly written that if you don't see it right away, it has to be pointed out to you, and you aren't going to see it right away.
If I believe that, I would hate it.
It's still a good story. Like
No,
it's
I would
well,
hate it. I have to. I have to. For me personally, I have to think that he's successful in doing what he wants to have done at the end of the movie.
yeah,
Um,
he's very successful at having brain cancer.
and no, I mean, yeah, that's why I hate Brazil, George. Brazil is the number one most hated movie I've ever seen, and I hate that. I hate being dragged along on a journey like that doesn't exist, and I want to
Well,
punch, throat punch the person who
but
put
it
me.
does exist for Bob, for the character. It
Um,
was it
Ed Norton's
was
character,
uh
right? But if
yes,
uh,
Ed Norton's character, but it's Tyler Durden.
right, if his big explosion scene is all in his head, I want to take the movie and burn it.
No,
I've never seen Fight Club, but
It's
I can tell you that with television shows where like the whole episode was like, oh, it's just a dream and it never really happened. Yeah, I hate it on the TV, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it in the movie.
well, trust me, watch the movie. Watch the movie because you don't see it in the film if you're not paying attention to very, very, very minute things that are deliberate. But like you enjoy the film because it is happening to him. It's just not happening in meat space. Um, you see it that way because that's how he's seeing it. But it's one of those things that like it's really well done. Like I get that hating
sequence.
the dream sequence, um, or the negating something because it was a dream, like they did in Dallas. Uh,
I was
Dallas
about to
was
bring
the
that Dallas, the entire what was it, second, third season
Yeah,
was just a
yeah
dream.
yeah. Well, that's they wrote themselves into a corner with a character that they didn't want to get, like the actor didn't want to go or whatever. It's like, so we'll just make it a dream. Woo!
yeah. To me, that's kind of like a theft of one's time.
It can be, but like not in the case of Fight Club. If you do it properly, it's not, because like the mental damage that Tyler Durden, Ed Norton's character, played by Brad Pitt, uh, is real. Right, he is like mentally damaged. You're just experiencing his mental damage with him through that story. And if it's not pointed out to you, or you're not clever enough to notice it, you're not aware you're experiencing it. Just like he is, he's not aware he's experiencing it.
Yeah, it just takes away from the magnificent uh, plan. You know what I mean?
The
When
plan was stupid. Blow up some buildings and expect that to change the world? No.
it's worked before.
Yes, before multi-networked computer redundancies. You're not going into someone's office and stealing your bank records and calling it a day.
Well, back in the day, it was a little more feasible.
Yeah, that day was like 1790. Like, for fuck's sakes, man. Well, no, probably like 790. Because they had redundant bank records in the Roman Empire. If you knew anything about Rome, Shadow, you would know this.
Saw that coming a mile away. And George, De Niro has not ever had a best role. The best role will be when he takes a 357 and puts it in his mouth and
I don't
pulls the
know.
trigger.
Heat was kind of good.
No, I hated that fucking movie. I
You don't
Oh
like
god,
Heat?
ugh.
You
Not a
don't
big
like?
Al Pacino fan either.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You don't like Heat?
no, I hated it,
You don't like Heat?
and I paid money to see it too.
You
It
didn't
was on a
like Heat?
date, and I was like, okay, fine, we'll see it. And I was
You,
like,
wait, you didn't like Heat?
no, didn't. I've always hated De Niro, always will hate De Niro.
Where Shadow? Where on the doll did he touch you?
Wasn't me, it was
Right
the
here,
other
right
people that
here,
he touched that
right
I'm not a
here,
big fan of. Plus,
right here.
uh, he's always been a freaking pint-sized piece of shit, and playing a tough guy doesn't make you a tough guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He
How
wasn't.
tough can you be when you're 5'2"? Just say
He,
it.
he wasn't
You can
Dog
be
Day
pretty.
Afternoon, right? Was it Dog Day Afternoon?
That was
As cliche as it is, as cliche as it is, the saying is true. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And
when
if
it
you
comes
don't
to De
believe me,
Niro, there's no
Oh,
fight in him unless it's
I
uh,
agree. I agree. But you said how tough can you be at 5'2"? I was like, you can be tough at 5'2".
you can be tough
uh,
to a point. But you
yeah.
can't
But
be
I
tougher
mean,
than a guy who's 6'6" and does actual hard labor and things, operators per se.
Uh,
well, I mean, no, I mean
so
you
not
can
you.
be, you can
I'm
be. I'm just
retired.
saying. I'm just saying a guy who's 5'2", he's going to
I,
have to prove himself at least once. He's going to have to show himself actually take down somebody who's 6'6". Now, somebody who's 6'6", yeah, he can get away with a lot more because he's bigger and people are going
you're
to
He's
question
pushing
it.
probably
limits.
done things to maintain, that
Oh.
that sort
Uh,
of existence.
I'm,
De
I'm just
Niro's
saying,
never, as far as I can tell,
but
never worked a hard day in his life. You know,
but I mean,
Uh, yeah. Okay. So you
speaking
said it
on
was
specifics, I'll agree with you. Speaking
Pacino
in
and Dog Day
generalities,
Afternoon. What was the
Serpico wasn't that his big breakthrough.
uh De
uh,
Niro?
um,
De Niro.
I have a problem with those actors that are only capable of playing that one role.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm trying to think. This Dog Day Afternoon is the one where he robs the bank to get his gay lover a sex change operation. Um,
okay, Google,
seriously, that's what that one's about. I've never seen it.
yeah,
what was Robert De Niro's breakthrough movie?
yeah. It's not the
Raging
breakthrough
Bull,
movie.
maybe,
I
or
I want to know what was the one where the guy was the detective in the gay nightclubs.
wasn't that Taxi Driver?
No, Taxi Driver was the psycho obsessed with the 14-year-old prostitute.
Uh,
And then he wanted to kill some people. Swamp, Blood
Okay,
Money,
Google, what De Niro movie had a detective in gay nightclub?
shoot.
Cruising.
Cruising. Was it Cruising? Is it
Cruising
De
is a
Niro?
1980 crime thriller film written and directed by William Friedkin, starring. Oh, that's Al Pacino.
So it's also Al Pacino. Okay, so they were both Pacino.
I specifically said De Niro,
Yeah, but that's the one I was thinking of.
but okay, you got him. All right.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
I thought like one did one and the other did the other, but it was both a boy's life. So he never did a gay film that like without going in and looking. Great Expectations. He was in Great Expectations. So maybe you did a great gay film.
you might be
Okay.
thinking of Flawless. with Robert De Niro.
What's that one about?
An ultra-conservative security guard suffers a debilitating stroke and is assigned to a rehabilitative program that includes singing lessons with the drag queen next door.
What year?
Looking.
I was thinking of cruising, so it's
Okay.
it's a
99.
99. Oh, okay.
Robert De Niro, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Barry Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like what was that movie with Jack Nicholson?
Another actor I can't stand.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt.
Yeah. I actually liked that movie.
Say anything?
No. No, it came out when I was working in the theater.
Helen Hunt.
Okay, Google.
I'll get it.
What movie starred?
As good as it gets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As good as it gets. That was a good one.
Greg Kinnear was in it as well, I think.
Yeah, Greg Kinnear played the gay guy.
And I've never seen it. How do I know that?
And Cuba Gooding Jr. was in it too. So basically, Jack Nicholson is a neurotic who has to have everything just right, and he's got a crush on Helen Hunt's character. She's a waitress, and he always goes to her restaurant during her shift to have lunch, and he brings his own fork and stuff like that. And his neighbor gets gay bashed or whatever for probably not taking no for an answer, because that's usually how that happens.
No. His neighbor is the artist.
Let me finish. He gets gay bashed and has to go to the hospital. So he ends up having to dog sit his neighbor's dog. Yeah, he was an artist. And Cuba Gooding Jr. is his boyfriend slash art dealer or something like that. And taking care of the dog gives him a more comfortable lease on life, and he's able to actually approach Helen Hunt and stuff like that. What do you think I'm missing from the story?
Okay. Jack Nicholson plays a writer who you got all the Jack Nicholson part right. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen this movie like 50 times. So
his neighbor's a gay artist, and he hired a model he was going to do a painting, and he hired this model. But
who beats the living shit out of him?
It was a rando off the street, and at the last day, the model brings some guys over and they're robbing him. Yes, they end up beating the shit out of him, but it has nothing to do with being gay. They're just robbing him. He ends up in the hospital. Cuba Gooding Jr., you got that part right, gives the dog to Jack Nicholson, and then they end up telling the guy, look, you're broke, you got nothing, you got no money, and the guy needs to go back to his parents to ask for money. His dad was was pissed off that he was gay and everything, and turns out that he last time he saw his dad handed him a fistful of money and said, "Get out of here! I don't ever want to see you again." And the majority of the movie is about the road trip that Jack and the gay guy and Helen Hunt take.
Yeah. They go on a road trip at you said the end, right?
Well, it's more like it's about the second act. The
second. I thought the second act was she has to quit her job because her kid is in the hospital for like lung issues and couldn't be a waitress anymore or something like that, and he flips out.
No, her kid is severely asthmatic,
Yeah.
and she had to call in because her son had an attack and had to end up in the hospital. He
Yeah.
didn't like that, so he hired a doctor to go take care of the kid so that she wouldn't have to miss work, so that he could
Have
sit
his
at her
routine.
table. Yeah, have his
Yeah, yeah,
routine.
yeah. And the dog helps him deal with that necessity
Right.
for hyper rigid routines, and that allows him to get lucky with Helen Hunt.
Basically, yeah,
which
yeah.
is absolute absurd, but okay.
Yeah,
No,
she's not
because
that.
I mean, well,
She's
I
a
mean,
human female. Is my point.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I was coming in from the the dog helping him part.
Jack Nicholson's character wasn't gay.
No,
No,
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Nicholson's character is freaking a creepy old man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Creepy might be pushing it. I'm not going to argue it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't say creepy.
Oh, he was creepy.
He had quite a few issues.
Yeah, but
You know,
Jack
back
Nicholson.
OCD,
yeah.
agoraphobic.
Agoraphobic. Yeah, Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson was only married once, and it was for 6 years back in 1962 to eight. So, and he had six kids during that time. Well, he's had six kids since then. Only
Really?
one with that woman. So, he likes sex, but
Oh,
Sandra Knight.
I love the scene where because in the apartment building he usually just goes straight to the elevator, straight up. But he got
Yeah.
delayed, and he had to sit there and wait for an elevator. And the lady behind the desk she's like, "Oh, I just love your book so much,"
And he's like, "Don't talk about it."
and you just usually go straight through, so I never have any time to ask you. But I've always wondered, how is it that you write women so well? And well, I think of a man. Then I take away reason and accountability. And then there's open he walks out. She's like,
He's not wrong, but he didn't.
it was funnier when he said it. I do a horrible Jack Nicholson impersonation, but yeah.
It's okay. Jack Nicholson does a horrible Jack Nicholson
Hey,
person.
hey. I I haven't heard anything negative about Jack Nicholson. I've heard that he's a for a Hollywood type, he's a stand-up guy.
Well, he's been married one time and has six kids, and only one with that woman.
Wait, I'm not counting that as a
Jack
positive or a
Nicholson
negative in his favor.
He's a creepy old man.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
this is the
his
first
character in a rom com
Everything he's ever played in the last 30 years.
Yeah. And anyone who has anything to do with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest should be ashamed of themselves.
I've never seen that one. I've always
Yeah,
wanted to.
it's
It's on
pretty
my.
It was a propaganda piece used to justify shutting down all the insane asylums that resulted in all the crazy people being out on the street. That way, more violence and crime could happen to random people. Thank you, Reagan, for falling for that bullshit.
He's kind of a creepy old man too, if you ask me.
And probably gay.
I don't know about that, but
I saw his wife. She's kind of mannish looking.
kind of what?
Mannish looking.
I recall seeing her younger, which is
Shut up. Stop going against the narrative, bro. Just agree and amplify. That's how this works.
Yeah, no.
It's a very Dr. Girlfriend vibes.
I could see that kinda.
Her voice was like this. Hey,
I think she just hit the wall right at 29.
And the wall was like a dump truck.
Well, full of bricks.
Coming at her at 80 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to the future, Marty. Future of looking old.
Yeah.
80 years old, that is.
The wall gets us all, man.
Yeah.
You seen?
Doesn't get me. I've looked the same since I was 12.
Have you seen Mickey Rourke lately? What the shit happened to him?
Plastic surgery and a motorcycle accident.
It's a shame.
Oh.
You'd think that someone would have told him, hey, boxing at your age, probably not a good idea.
Look at my fat arms. Like sausages coming out of my shirt. Makes me look sexy. Makes me look like sausages. Ain't nothing sexier than a sausage. Especially if it's wrapped in bacon.
I don't think I would use the word sexy, but okay.
Hey, man. Man sexy is not the same as woman sexy. Man sexy is the stomach.
You need to feed Shadow his lines. Okay, I don't know what that means, honestly. Nancy equals Bridget McCron. What was she? Isn't she like 30 years older than that guy?
Yeah, something like that.
That's just
and he met her when he was like 14.
Yeah.
Groomed.
Just it's not supposed to work that way.
Yeah. According to Max up there, you're supposed to meet her when she's 14.
And then you wait to whatever the age of consent is, right? I'm hoping. Unless it's Germany, in which case that is the age of consent.
It was the age of consent in most places up until well, at least 16. It was here up until like 2005 or something like that.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's just it's too young.
Well, it was like federally, and it's like it means basically if you do anything under that, it becomes a federal crime. And then the libs tried to lower it to nothing. So the conservatives just like raised it 2 years instead. So it's technically 16 federally here.
That's still too young, but
yeah.
I mean, there's nuances to it. I mean, if you're both 16, then have at. But if she's 16 and you're 56, then no.
Honestly, I think you should have enough wherewithal by 16. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I would have no problem if you shot the person, but still, 18
I stood on her.
Stop spying. Bridget was a man.
I saw a couple of her videos on that, and she never really outright said that Brigitte was a man. She just
implied
gave evidence that would suggest that Brigitte was a man.
Yes, the problem is like she's been pregnant and had kids, so
no, that's weird because that's what they said about Big Mike too. I don't believe it.
Did they show her pregnant?
Yes.
And not just pictures, but like actual live video of her being pregnant. Okay. Because I mean,
and even then, a lot of that stuff up until a certain point could be faked. Not every aspect.
I give you the Schwarzenegger DeVito film Twins. Or no, not Twins. Wrong one. Junior.
Is it Junior? I thought. Yeah, Junior. Whatever. It's like, no. The point is like, why would you for a political career? Um, I don't disbelieve that Big Mike is female. I believe that Big Mike has a massive bush and wears tight skirts, so it looks funny.
Look, mm,
And anyone not calling Big Mike a man is just doing the joke wrong.
I don't know, man.
Now, if you want
I've
to tell
seen
me that,
live footage of Michelle. That there's one she had these the like those baggy white pants that women wear,
Seeing the
and
video,
then yeah,
that's terrifying.
yeah,
yeah,
you can just have a crinkle in the cloth and it'll look weird.
it was not a crinkle.
Yeah,
Dude,
I've seen the video. It's
something
just a
got
crinkle
loose
in the
in there.
cloth.
Okay,
She got
something got loose.
she's got this much hair off the pelvic bone. That's what it is, and it's big
Okay,
curly black hair. So
okay,
it's like piled carpet, but
okay.
6 inches thick,
No, but I mean,
and it only compresses to 5 3/4 inches because it's black hair.
Again, I'm not saying Michelle or Michael. I'm just saying there's actual
I'm saying
that would suggest.
I believe that is technically female, but if you're not calling her male, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, it's the difference between telling the joke and actually believing it.
I don't think Joan Rivers had any reason to lie back in the day. Uh,
Yes, Joan Rivers did. Controversy was literally her bread and butter.
except for the fact that the way she did it was like,
Was classic for Joan Rivers.
yeah, but it wasn't like she was trying to start something.
No. She always was trying to start something. That's literally what kept her employed.
No, that literal incident, I've seen it hundreds of times. I don't think. I think she was just saying something she thought everybody else already knew, and that the reporters were being stupid.
Wow.
The body language, the tone, the demeanor, everything about it
Now, if you
was.
want to tell me that Michelle is hyper masculine and that Obama is no feet little sissy boy, those are actual factual statements.
All three of them could be accurate in my book. Uh, the other thing I find incredibly suspicious is the children's behavior. I wasn't going to go there, George. I don't like coincidences, and you know, we'll see. Someday we'll see. Uh, I don't want to see that the way it sounds, but someday we will find out.
Now, I was never a fan of Joan Rivers, so I really don't care.
I wasn't either, but I'd seen enough of her to be able to get a baseline. And
Yeah, she was a bullshitter and a freaking
actually, I
dirt
thought it
monger.
was more her honesty that made her the hit that she was.
No, she wasn't honest. She was sincere. Those are different things. They look like each other.
Well,
You can be a sincere liar,
of course.
just like you and your dragon dildo. See how that works?
I don't even know what that is. I don't want to know, but
Crafting showed us on the show, man.
I must have blotted that out.
They're giant, massive dildos shaped like hypothetical dragon dicks.
It's
ribbed for your torture. They usually look more like mushrooms than they.
Hey, pup, what are you doing? Oh.
Oh.
So what have you been up to, nerdy?
Yeah.
Same old.
That was the weirdest laugh. Like we caught you jerking off or something.
Yeah.
Was,
Yeah. The only one that does gay things on this show is Shadow. He's required to by contract.
you get any games, anything like that?
Yeah. I'm in a game every um and Bruce and Crafty and this past Saturday we had Baron on there. He jumped in. Don't know if he's going to be a permanent fixture.
Yeah, I haven't seen Baron in like over a year, maybe 2 now.
And then
Baron G-Rock.
Yeah.
How's his AIDS helping him? Maybe he's finally got a prep regiment that's working.
No idea.
Crafting pros or nerdy pros. Sorry, man. I'm used to a certain guy being down there. Ever since he flipped out and ran off, and it's just like, I miss my tarded friend, but he hasn't apologized, and I'm not letting him. So,
well, it's kind of going to be one or the other, isn't it?
Nah, fuck that shit.
Okay.
I'd rather the double standard than have a standard. Oh. Okay, what were you saying before you froze? I think you froze again. You're all robot, bro. Smack your Wi-Fi antenna.
Yeah, I agree, George.
Well, I would, but you told me that Shadow was the only one that could do gay shit.
I said Wi-Fi antenna, not your antenna.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, if he pops back in.
Come on back when you can.
Yeah. He's doing the stuff. So what's going on with you, Shadwell?
I'm looking forward to getting those stamps in the mail.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
Shadow's become a stamp collector. He's getting ones with little boats on them, and mountains, and 50 cents a piece. And, you know they're non-expiring stamps in the U.S. now.
No, not those kind of stamps. The stamp pad.
Oh, nerdy.
From Lord of Maps. I'm going to do a video on it in a couple of days or so. Just take a piece of paper and just see what I can just, if I can, make a fantasy world map and see how what kind of learning curve there is to using them and getting them to work out right, smudging them or smearing them or doing it wrong or whatever. They look gorgeous. And I saw some other ones, which is weird. I was at Hobby Lobby looking for the ink pads for them, and I saw some other stamps there, and I'm like, I wonder if they're from the same company because they looked really similar. Did you vote for Young Elvis or Old Vegas stamps? Of course, Young Elvis. Come on. I mean, I was just listening to Elvis.
Old Elvis is far more fun in a depressing kind of way.
Yeah.
I want a stamp of Elvis on the toilet eating his fried banana sandwich.
You're gonna have to do that on your own. I'm sure.
No, the post office has to do it. It's their job to have stamps for every fucking thing. They got new ones every week.
You're not wrong there. Yeah, I was just listening to some Elvis on the way home from church about 2 weeks ago. Shocked the shit out of everybody in the car because normally the stuff I listen to isn't that. But like they said, what was it? Was it? Yeah, it was Pulp Fiction, wasn't it? You're either Elvis or a Beatles fan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Elvis every day.
I'm gonna go with the Kinks.
What?
The Kinks.
Oh, I can see the comparison to the Beatles, but not Elvis.
Well, if you're either a Beatles or an Elvis fan, I'm gonna go with the Kinks. Because fuck both those. Fuck Elvis with a chainsaw.
What Elvis ever do to you?
And fuck the Beatles with what, 4 chainsaws? Maybe 5?
Oh, you're gonna go after Pete Best? You didn't do anything wrong.
Have them stand in a row. You can take care of one. You can take care of all 4 with one.
No, man. You gotta put the chainsaw up the butthole and then turn it on.
Well, 3 or 4 of them look on and watch.
No. They all get this. That's why I said with 4, maybe 5.
Like I said, what Pete Best ever do to you? The original drummer before Ringo.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking the guy that replaced not Ringo. Oh, no, because there was a time when one of them had to go on hiatus. I think he was replaced with someone for like 6 months. Well, they still toured.
I don't remember that. That's weird.
Yeah, he like broke his arm or something.
Was it good, George, or was it just like sad? And don't you dare be starting any shit with Jeff Lynne. Just saying, because he was like the 6th Beatle.
Yeah, maybe that's who I'm thinking.
Or 7th was George Martin, the 6th Beatle, and he was the 7th. I forget.
Yeah.
I took a whole class in college on the Beatles because it was part of the history of rock and roll.
Yeah, history that we can remove. Yeah, he's got like 4 cases of Coke at his fucking side table. It's not. It can't be because it's well.
What are you talking about?
The Elvis.
I didn't see the.
No, it is Coke.
No, I did
It
hear.
is Coke. He's got like.
I
Sorry, the ice cream truck's here.
Hold on a sec, gents. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Look at this. You see this? At the piano. Oh, you can see that. I can hear that. Wait. Oh no, that's me.
well, I mean, you're up there on stage. You gotta graded.
Yeah, but the cola dehydrates you. It makes you pee. Stop sharing. Okay, so
I have heard some things about him that kind of makes me feel sorry for the guy. I never was much.
okay.
like he always wanted to do serious.
Yeah, but he didn't have the acting chops for it. And he was hooked on the opiates. Yeah, he was hooked on the opiates. Uh, he was a little dim-witted, so he didn't have the ability to range for serious stuff. And he thought because he was famous, he was right. He's one of those kind of guys. Um, you could tell that when he brought a gun to the White House. Yeah, but it was for Nixon, so the 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 second or third best president the U.S. has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
The first being Jimmy Carter. Yeah. You guys have never had a better president than Jimmy Carter. The joke is he wasn't elected to anything. Oh. What, George? Why don't you just hop in here? Uh, it, um, yeah. So you were saying, so what's going on in your game with I'm spacing on his name right now. When you were talking about earlier.
Um, um, well, there's my every other Saturday. There's my Sunday. Picking one on.
Yes, but I asked you what was going on in them. What was going on the one you're playing with?
Bruce.
What's his name? Bruce. Yes.
Bruce. Well, it's a play test. He's kind of
okay, but
yeah, kit bashing, and right now we are we're
okay.
We're building up a what's a not a fortress, but we're trying to we're whoa, what the fuck? Word leave bad. Anyway, we are building up. We are um, a community, and it's kind of like a adventure kind of thing going on.
Okay.
We yeah, and we're trying to right now. We're building up capital to build up the community. I can check on.
Okay.
And we're out there. We're out there right. We're out there, you know, making contacts, and creating a name for ourselves.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And in the Sunday one, or yeah, the Sunday one, it's a Rifts game. I'm playing a Titan Juicer.
Okay.
Right now we are trying to work our way.
Character. Yeah.
Huh?
It's a class, not your character. Like the fact that you just listed off a class doesn't tell me anything about the person you're playing.
Well, he's kind of a young, sickly kid, and he got together enough money. He was going to get the juicer augmentation.
Okay.
and
kind of like Bane.
and then
Yeah, I know what the class is, but you know,
but then the guy who did it was crooked. Is safe and the party got me out of that. So we are working our way
we
towards.
got okay, nerdy. Up until Philadelphia, we were getting half
Am I
of every
lagging again?
word. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sickly Kid got juicer augmentation.
Yeah.
The guy who did the work was crooked, tried to sell me into slavery, and the party helped bust me out. And now we're working our way towards Philadelphia.
Okay.
And we just had our first serious fight. I mean, the one fight that we just had.
It's happening again.
Slow. Stop.
We've even.
Okay. I think he's just out now, frozen now. Okay. I'm gonna move on to you, Shadow.
So I'd be remiss if we didn't try to bring up the Mork board game Saturday.
Yeah, go over to Shadow's show and watch me DM my first DMing experience. Shadow sucked at the game because
What are you talking about? I was hysterical.
There's only two things I ever do with Shadow, and that's like say he's bad at role playing games, and I call him gay. Mostly call him gay. It's 90% of it.
Okay, nerdy.
Bye, nerdy. Thanks for coming by. Sorry the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
People out there with headphones or me killing the script. Yeah.
There's a bit of that going around. I don't know where you're located, but it wasn't the worst game I was ever in. It wasn't the best either.
It was the best fucking game ever performed ever. Don't lie.
I don't know about that.
There was big dick energy from me. Everyone else had small dick energy.
Well, hopefully not from Raven. Just saying.
Raven had the second biggest dick energy.
She was fun. It had its moments. I wish I could have done the face the whole time, but I just couldn't. I'll try harder next time, but
so I'm gonna before next session give everyone the thing they got to do to get a perk from me. I'm doing that just because I want to, just because I said I'd do it for you, so I'll do it for everyone. You obviously have to kill Omenau's character to get some benefit in the world. Just for religious purity, right?
The
fact that I have two heretical priests in the party is something's got to be done about that.
No, you just gave yourself a place in my hierarchy. You're the muscle, and you do all my grunt work, George. Thanks for volunteering. I mean, my character's so batshit crazy that
probably doesn't even notice.
Right.
He doesn't actually have a backpack. That's what he calls George's character.
I think I did that okay. I don't think people could quite see what I was picturing. Especially when I was doing the march. The way I had it pictured, just the full.
Okay. So
Python thing, silly walk kind of.
I know what you're saying. My Chemical Romance, Black Parade.
I've never heard of them. I
Yeah,
was thinking Monty Python.
yeah,
Just the full. What do they call it? The guy who leads the band. March.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, let's go ahead and mute this because I don't want a strike. And we will try and find the sequence. Do, 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 do. This guy, but he does a marching. There is a segment where he's. Oh, maybe he doesn't do it in this version, but there's a segment where because they're at the front of a parade. I swore there was a segment where he's dying. Like the character they're singing about is dying in the hospital bed. But I swore there was a segment where he's doing the with the baton.
mhm.
But I guess I'm thinking of a different song. But it's a fucked up little. It's a fucked up little emo song.
Gotcha.
Um, worth at least one listen. But yeah, I can see your character dressed like that too, in
Just
the
gotta get
black.
the full major domo hat, whatever, and
Yeah, yeah, with the little
flats.
brim,
Yeah, yeah.
and the one feather coming out the.
But the part that was making me laugh inside was, how high his knees would be going up as he's marching.
Oh yeah, yeah, like the high knee guy,
Yeah,
played
yeah.
by
Just,
I want to say
and the
Cleese.
full on,
Yeah,
sort of William Defoe and his face, just like all those teeth and everything. Just
well, yeah, but you don't have the most teeth because George is playing a fanged deserter, right?
sure,
So
sure, sure. No, but he's we would call him long in the tooth.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
uh, just I was watching a video on William Defoe a while back, and I'm just like, yep, that's who I'm going to channel. That's when I play characters. A lot of times, even though the players can't see me as that person, I
yeah.
see myself as that person, and it sometimes
You
helps.
can't go wrong channeling William Defoe. Just
Yeah,
in anything, like on a date or a church or like at the morgue, just
yeah.
grocery shopping. uh, oh, but yeah, yeah, I had fun. Uh,
I
I
think
like,
everybody did a great job. The only person I thought could have hammed it up a little more would have been Omen,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
surprising that he didn't. But
He did some things, but yeah.
Raven
Uh,
was on point. George, you too.
yeah. I think it's the most participatory I've seen Raven be in things. So
No, she was really good in the Traveler game.
yeah, but she was just being a drunk in the Traveler game. That's not
Well,
Raven playing a character. That's
I,
not Raven playing a character outside of herself. Okay.
uh, the game with the time bomb, I think was that, and her
Yeah.
first appearance was probably the her best.
Oh yeah, yeah, with the Gatling gun and all that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, yeah,
She had some really good moments. George too.
Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention because I wasn't uh, your Master of Doom in that. Uh, that's what I'm officially calling my title, Master of
I
Doom.
would like more descriptions
Yeah,
of things from you. I know I'm not great at that either sometimes,
yeah.
but it's usually because I, I assume that my
Hmm.
players are like kind of in the same headspace and they don't need it as much.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
for this particular situation, since we are playing a whole brand new thing that's new to
Mhm.
everybody, um, I
Okay.
would. I would work
I,
on, like,
I could see that. I could see that. I could see that.
make yourself look better.
Hmm.
For the naysayers out there, even though uh, there aren't that many anymore. Um,
Yeah.
just to show what the world is like and put your own little spin on the absurdity of it all, like you were talking about. Because I was having a hard time picturing, what the world is actually like,
Hmm.
bleak and
So I get that. You didn't read the book. I know you didn't.
who me? Of course not.
Yeah, you should read the book.
I
Book
did
of
get a
it.
lot from the character generator thing.
Yeah.
Uh, because I went through the kill the character. I probably looked at 100 different characters,
Yeah.
even before I knew what I wanted. Then once I found, like, a steady stream of things that I liked, which was from the heretical priest, the other ones all kind of turned me off. Uh,
Yeah, and like the way that system works is like those are the basically the pre-gen templates. Uh, so the six things if you want to not create your own character, but the way the character creation goes in that game is because equipment is class, right? Basically, it's one of those games. Um, you can just make up whatever the fuck you want if you go from scratch. So you could play like a baker or whatever. I don't know why you would, and run around with like a rolling pin instead of a femur. Or just call it that. Um, because like the weapons are meant to be broad descriptives of like the kind of thing it is, not specifically that. So if George said he wanted his sword to be the Scottish long sword. Yeah, well, it's a Zahander in the rule book, but that's
oh, so you wanted more of a claymore then?
if you wanted a claymore, it would just be the same fucking thing.
Gotcha.
Uh, yeah, because functionally in the
I'm not a
rules,
fan of
they're
either blade, to tell you the truth.
yeah, it's just the strongest weapon. He rolled it while it was on his generation, because he actually figured out how to drag and drop or copy and paste the thing. Everyone else could do it. That's why you're less technically competent than Raven.
No, I think it's more.
There's a reason why Shadow is less technically competent than Raven, and it's that he couldn't figure out how to get a PDF folder into
I was wondering,
Discord.
George, if you were going to catch on to that. He wants the explosive. Um,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, and your previous statement will be valid when Raven has put out uh, like videos
Shush,
on
shush,
YouTube.
shush. Everyone else can figure out how to go click, drag, drop, or copy, paste, but you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually going to work on my laptop. To be honest,
You copy and
uh,
paste works with all computers.
no, copy and paste, sure, because that's what I did was copy and paste into Discord. But
No. I mean, like if you go over the thing, the little icon for the PDF file, and right click on it, and then hit copy, it'll give you like a URL, kind of like the string of letters that you do for like a website or whatever, and then copy and paste that in, and it just gives me the PDF file instead of copy and paste the text inside of.
okay, I didn't see that icon. There's some
Uh,
weird things that this laptop won't do.
well, it's wherever, because when you opened it, it saved it to your computer.
Yeah,
So wherever it saved it to is where.
yeah, that's one of the
So
issues.
it's sitting in a downloads folder or something somewhere, which you should like find out where that is, because it's probably half your computer's worth of shit if you've been opening stuff and saving stuff and not knowing where it goes.
No, it's once I've done that is sharing those things that I've downloaded or whatever. There's
Yeah.
like I can't find the icon that lets me do that.
Right click, whatever your right click function is,
Yeah,
it'll open up a window, and one of the things on that list is copy.
it's never share. Now that could
No,
be because
no, no. When you then open up, because now it's on like a clipboard in the memory of the computer. You now open up Discord and you go to my name, and you go down to the type in
plus sign.
bar, the the, the the message me bar, and you right click on that, and well, you click to put the cursor there, then you right click and you say paste, copy, paste,
Yeah.
and that the string of letters and numbers that make up the identification of that document that was saved to your clipboard, because that's what it's called, is now pasted there. You send it, and it just, that PDF is now, when I click on it, it will download that PDF on my end. Uh, and it's a white paper with a little red bar coming across that says PDF on the red bar, and it looks like a piece of paper, line paper. And then whatever the name of the document is. Yeah, that's what a PDF looks like.
Well, you've got what better part of a week to prepare for the next session.
I've already got what I'm doing.
All
You
right.
guys, you guys are. I'm gonna come up with some alternative monsters, because I have a bunch of what I think you should be fighting, and then because I'm making up all my own monsters, because uh, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it the hardest possible way. That way, I feel
It's
less.
not that hard to make up monsters. Come on, any
Well, like
6-year-old kid can give me a box of crayons. That's what it's going to draw is monsters.
what I mean by that is, like, by making it up myself, it's easier when I'm not doing it in the future. Right? Always go for the hardest thing first. That way, the not as hard thing doesn't feel as less of a daunting. It's an immersion in task technique.
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this so long that
And
uh,
you're still not good at it.
it's all like so easy. I cannot tell you how many times I've run a game uh, with with completely off the top of my head. You know, you know, not needing to roll up random stuff, just
Yeah.
do it. You know, just pull crap out of my ass, and you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Like, doing a lot of that, but
well,
having,
no,
like,
I mean, in like the old school guys that I know, so many of them literally have to, you know, break out the books, look up the charts, and roll the dice.
yeah,
It's like, why? I mean, you know what's on the chart already, or you know in your head what's on the chart. You're going to look up the Wandering Monster table for level 1 monsters. You mean you can't rattle off 10 random first level monsters and just go, you know what? I want the skeletons.
yeah. I like that one. That one's good here. Well,
It's no less valid, you know, especially if you're trying to maintain a theme or some sort of continuity, you know, especially like in a dungeon, you know, where you can if you use the random charts, you can get a bunch of critters that all hate each other and why they're next door and they haven't, you know, done each other in kind of thing or eaten each other or or better yet, they've all started working together. And when someone hears some shit going on, every door opens and they all pile out to see what's going on. You know, which you know should be every dungeon. Uh,
well.
They've been there how long?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh, hey, there's George. Um, so the scenario I thought would be you guys wandering around the house. Hey, George.
Hey.
You guys wandering around the house a little bit more as it was like starting to sink, and then we would end with you on the sand. I did not expect you to make it to the church. There. That's kind of why.
Marching skills.
Yeah, that's why I kind of stalled at the door, George. That was the only direct interference I put in the scenario because that's
Oh, no problem.
that's planned for session 2.
Yeah, I was tempted to explore that hatch that you mentioned, and then and I guess I just wasn't aware too much of what was going on above because I think I just ran out immediately. I think part of it was the description of the character was a coward, so
that's good. It's good you follow your.
You're brave enough to steal my crowbar, though.
Yeah, well, he's also a thief.
You gave it to me. I just didn't give it back.
I loaned it to you, but
yeah,
you want to be my official crowbar wielder? I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, like obviously, my plan was point you towards the church. So I had like, what would happen if you guys were dumb enough to stay in the house, which was like a TPK opportunity right there. Because
for them,
no, the house was sinking into the bog, or
I would have made it out.
Bugs.
The deadliest things were in the basement. Which planned not to, and then everything's pointing you towards the church. So A, you don't go outside. B, you go outside and go to the church. C, you go outside and say fuck this shit, I'm going in the opposite direction, which was the most confusing. I have like maybe 6 things that could happen to you if you go that way, that I would have to like rewrite everything I have kind of just did down.
Yeah, I think most of us would have gone to a church just because one, it was like our first time with Morkborg. So we're
and everything's kind of pointing you to that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. Have an idea, but don't be too locked out, right? Like, so I took what you guys did, and that adjusts everything going forward, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Don't think too far in advance, or you end up with Shadow wanting you to kill the captain of the boat and being very disappointed that you didn't do it, even though it's been a year since then. I just assumed the worst.
Are we playing that this Saturday, or is it going to be skipping a week like we did with some of the previous?
I don't care one way or the other. We can play. We cannot play.
Is Omen available?
Yeah. It's the thing he was getting at is that Mondays for this week and next week he has to be up at like 4 a.m. or be on the road at 4 a.m. That's why he couldn't make, because he has to go to bed earlier. Yeah, because he's on the road for his job inspecting dams.
If Owen's not there,
dancing or something,
I'm okay waiting.
Yeah.
As much as I want to.
Yeah, same here. Like,
so I guess if he's late, they're like, "Where's that damn inspector?"
Yeah. And nobody told him that we were starting a half hour earlier. Shadow, I told you to let everyone know.
I could have swore, well, not only did I send him a message, I could have swore we talked about it on one of my shows where he was there.
I know that was Raven. Whatever. George didn't know about it until 20 minutes before that when I messaged him. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right, George?
Yeah.
I got receipts, so don't lie now.
Yeah, I know I said it several times on my show, though, that we were going to start early so Raven could leave.
Yeah.
I could have missed that. I might have. I did catch some of the shows, but I think I didn't even watch. I was middle of things on Thursday, so I didn't really even watch much of the Thursday show. I did watch a little bit of the Friday morning one. Yeah, Raven was great doing those, like reading out the rule book and stuff. It was kind of those were good streams.
Yeah. She was having a lot of fun, so. Well, at least laughing a lot. Could have been.
Yeah.
Raven could be a far better actor than we expect. I doubt it, though.
She's like, who was it on the Tonight Show would laugh at the jokes? Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
She's like, just laugh at the jokes. Have a drink.
I'm surprised you don't like the world setting there, Shadow. Not my campaign, but the one in the thing. It seems like your kind of edginess.
To a point, but there's got to be a contrast. You know, when that's what I hated about Death in Space. There's literally no hope, no point, no.
Yeah. Well, that's what you bring to it.
Pardon?
That's what you bring to it. There, you gotta find the absurdity in trying to reverse things. Things are it's like I was trying to reference the other night. Think what if 40K minus the high tech, but with the zaniness of Monty Python.
Well, like with the Death in Space, there's literally no hope. There's no reversing the thing.
That you know
of. Well, having read the book, I didn't see anything that alluded to that it could all be better.
Yeah.
And literally, there's not one redeeming individual person, place, or thing. Everyone and everything.
I expect
the
you.
Worst it can be.
I expect you to find yourself some recycled bubble wrap and wrap that book in it and put it into an envelope and write down my address on the envelope and throw down some Elvis stamps on the corner.
I don't think there's enough Elvis stamps in the building to cover the postage, unless they make like $2 stamps, which they might. But I have to get George's thing out in the mail. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this weekend.
Do you want me to send you the $2?
It's going to cost more than that to ship you a couple of books.
Oh no, you don't have to.
No,
thank you, George.
Not you, me.
Yeah. See, I'm talking about Justin. George, both of you guys, I will get something into the mail. It's just that every other Saturday we do our grocery shopping, and that eliminates any chance of getting to the post office, which is the only day.
Man, you are the worst parent ever.
What are you talking about?
You have a son.
And
you put the taser collar around him, and it doesn't get the shock if it doesn't come back without the book in the post and photos of it proving and put it in.
Oh no, the post office.
I thought you were going like at the other end, like you're setting a terrible example for this.
No, you hand the poor little fucking Home Depot refugee the envelope, and you tell him to take a photo of it, putting it in the damn mailbox, or it gets the shock again.
No, it's got to go to the post office, and it's got to be taken in by a cashier. You can't just drop it in the slot with stamps on it. That's not how it works here. It'll never show up.
You should be able to walk to the end of your driveway and open up the stupid box with the little flag on the corner and shove her in there sideways.
The outgoing is only a mail slot for envelopes, and you can't put packages there's no way to mail packages that way, like it used to be. You have to take it to the post office. They have to stamp it, fill out the paperwork, especially for customs. For George, I could just, you know, tell them how to ship it, pay them, and they'll put the stamp on it, and that's a done deal. But either way, I have to go to a actual post office with a cashier to do the thing.
What was the name of that city you live in again? That little
Palm,
township? What?
Palmdale.
Palmdale?
And the nearest post office is actually in the neighboring town of Lancaster, not Palmdale. We do have a mail annex, but 2 out of 3 packages I mail from there because it's a mom and pop place. They just keep them.
That's bullshit.
It is, but there's no way I can prove it other than the stats I just gave you, as in 2 out of 3 packages I've mailed out of there never got to their destination. And when you got the cashier there looking kind of sketchy, um, I'm going to go with, yeah, it never made it into the postal uh, possession.
Yeah. Fucking. Where did you say the neighboring place was?
Lancaster.
Lancaster.
And it's a mosey, mostly down a road with sidewalks, which means the asphalt is riddled with goat heads, which means any bicycle that goes down that road is getting a flat tire within 100 yards.
Yeah.
It's kind of rural here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, myself, but with my fat ass on a bike, even if I even drive by a goat head, I'm going to get a flat tire.
Oh.
Goat head.
Yeah, it's like
if you hear it ticking, don't submerge it in water.
Is this a little goat head? Like a
literal? No, it's like a.
It's like a thorn. It's like nature's little caltrops.
Oh, yeah, we got some.
They're kind of shaped like a goat head, so no matter which way it lands, there's a couple of spikes sticking up.
Yeah, it's better than those fuzzy ball things we get here.
No, not the big ball spike things. These are like about this big. So when they get into a tire, all you see is like a little round, like the head of a nail, like a really tiny, like a railroad nail. Like
they have an actual name, not a.
I don't know what they're called. We call them goat heads, but they're fucking sharp as fuck. It's very much like a multi-headed rosebush thorn that just, gets out there, and once it gets in, it will pierce through the tire into the inner tube, and then I got to change the tire. And while I usually have, because of it, a couple of extra inner tubes on hand, it's still a pain in the ass. It only takes like 10 minutes to change the tire, but unless it's the back tire, which is another 5 minutes. But if I don't have the inner tube, it's pointless. And it's messed up too, because like I've tried patching tires, and it just never works. That adhesive is just crap.
You gotta get the iron-on ones. They work better.
I've never seen the iron-on ones.
Yeah, they have like a thermal bond or some shit like that.
Really?
Yeah.
And I tried the inner tubes with the green stuff in them. Oh, those are absolutely should be taken off the market, because they work in one way. That's if there's this like green liquid. So if the tire gets punctured, it sprays this green liquid to seal the tire from the inside. The problem is that same pressure is pushing that green stuff into the valve, so you can't ever actually fill it back up with air.
Yeah.
Which is
dumb. But we got to wrap up. It is.
Yep, I got shit to do, and you guys got shit to do.
Yeah, I just got a knock at the door. Which is weird.
Okay, lucky you. I got to make my own damn dinner. I will have the God Wars report out tonight. I just have some things to do, and a couple of people are still slacking. And
George,
you're
gonna be out of the game. You're gonna be out of the game if your God Wars aren't in within 20 minutes. George, are you there? Look, he's already slacking off on.
He might be on a call or something.
Yeah, I'm just fucking kidding. But yeah, okay.
So we doing a show Wednesday or no?
You got the dentist on Friday.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about that. We were going to start not doing one on Wednesday, but we will start that next week because we're not doing one this Friday. Unless you want to just take the rest of the week off. I'm okay with a really long vacation. It's summer.
We'll get more of that when it's actually summer. This is Jackie's last week of school, so I know after that I'm going to want to spend more time with him during the week. But this week, might as well give the people what they want, and that's more of us recklessly ranting about whatever.
My sexy face. I'm too sexy for my face. I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Happy trails, folks.
Okay.
Sexy, it hurts.
Take care, George. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay. Party on. Okay.